5 minutes before 7 here on the program. Last week, the new Minister of Energy, Mmamoloko Kubayi, tabled the department's budget in Parliament, where she announced a number of initiatives. The minister has been commended for being forthcoming on the matter that has not been clear until recently. The sale of 10 million barrels of crude oil reserves, which are the country's strategic asset, and the terms on which they were sold. And recently, the department has just rolled out electricity at an informal settlement in Bloemfontein, electrifying about 1,400 houses. Well, joining us to discuss these matters and more, we have the Minister in studio with us. It's so good to have you, Minister. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Leanne, and morning to the viewers.
Well, we haven't had a chance to actually meet you as yet and chat and find out a little bit about yourself. So, I mean, this is a massive portfolio that you have taken on, or have been given, I should say, at the tender age of 39. I know us women don't like to talk about our ages, but we're proud when we see somebody so young coming into it. How's it been so far?
It's been quite hectic, eh?
I'm sure. I can imagine.
It's really hectic. One of the things is I had to really hit the ground running. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, I love the environment. I love the challenges, new environment. Yeah. I'm learning every day. I have a good team that is there, the executive that is working with me. I have the deputy minister. So they've literally they've been guiding. The experience in Parliament, being in Parliament for a couple of years as an oversight, has come very, very handy, fantastic. I must say. Which
is important, because, I mean, it's needed moving into such a massive portfolio. You also got a 3-month-old, or maybe 4 months by now.
It's 4 months now.
How are you
4 months by yesterday.
That's great, 4 months yesterday. I mean, that's difficult in itself, but, I mean, you're managing to do it.
I'm managing. I've got quite good support from the family, the hubby as well. The baby is behaving very well, I must say. For those who have kids, I would know that there are days where they don't sleep, but yeah, he's been sleeping well.
Okay, yeah. He knows his role.
He knows Mommy's that
busy. He's got
busy.
No time. And listen, finally, before we get down to the business of business, look at these shoes. I've never interviewed a minister who's worn Converse All-Star Tackies. And let me tell you something, this is clever, because you're running around mines a lot of the time. So I never known how you've done it in heels.
No, I'm going to communities, so I can't be in heels, Leanne. I have to be in communities. When you're doing bizo, this is how you dress, very comfortable, so that you can be able to run. But this is a sign of hitting the ground running.
I love it. Absolutely love it. This is a pin-up for anybody who needs to know what a working woman is doing. There you have it. All right, Minister, thank you. I wanted South Africans to know a little bit about you before we dig into the business, because it is very, very serious business. We're going to talk now. It's Energy Month, and obviously you have very key priorities up your sleeve. What are we looking at this month particularly?
Mainly, especially because it's winter, we're looking at, one, saving electricity. Secondly, safety. And when I say saving electricity, because sometimes South Africans think that because we do not have load shedding, therefore the responsibility of saving electricity does not come. When it's winter, the pressure is high, because the demand in terms of our geysers, our how we warm the homes becomes more. So we have that obligation to save electricity, because as well it's a scarce resource. But secondly, in terms of safety, you know, with informal settlements, this is the time where we have a lot of them burning. Because either they try to hit various areas which are not really safe, and we're trying to talk to communities to say, find better ways of warming up the household, better than, for example, you know that mbawula, what people would call, where you put coal and that's unsafe. One, in terms of what comes out of the coal into the home, you can inhale and then the family can perish. Secondly, it's around, if it falls, it can burn the shack down, especially in informal settlements. That's why for us it's very important electrification program. Making sure that we, in the informal settlements, we connect them to the grid. And as well, if we do not connect them to the grid, the off-grid solutions that are safer. That's important.
No, I mean, talking about this electrification project, this weekend your department is actually going back to inspect this electrification program for 1,400 informal settlement project in Khayelitsha and in Bloemfontein. Did this project start now during your tenure?
No, this is a project that started when Minister Tina Juma Peterson was there. It's part what we do, as you'd have noticed when I communicated the budget, is that every year we give out or we distribute money to various municipalities and provinces. And this is major part of our budget, where we send money to municipalities for connection into the grid or non-grid solutions. And another money, that's where we send to Eskom for electrification. So that's our chunk, because that's what we are responsible for. So they are delivering agents for us in the municipalities and as well as Eskom. So it's important for us to go, when they say to us, we have connected 1,400, it's better for me to go and see that they have connected those households firstly, and if the connection is meeting the required standard, and if communities are happy about the connection.
And hence the imbizo that you're having afterwards. Is that to get feedback from the community? To
get feedback from the community, to hear what are their concerns. Because sometimes we've had cases where we get report. We send money for connection and then it doesn't happen the right way. And those are some of the concerns sometimes we have as the department. We had an incident that was reported to me last week, that one of the areas, geyser installation, the geysers fell off. Now, obviously, it means the specs of that geyser installation were wrong, the solar water heater geysers. So the specs were wrong because they did not meet the rooftop, they didn't take into consideration the size of the geyser that needs to go to that type of a household. So those are the things that are very important for us to monitor, to know that we are getting value for money.
All right. Also, the final question on this issue is, how is this going to roll out and how fast is the rollout going to happen? Because, I mean, just as you have done here in Khayelitsha, I mean, there's so many other areas that need this.
No, countrywide, the work continuously. And we, I must say to South Africans, we have a bit of a challenge as the department. Our financial or our budget is limited. We are not, currently we are going to have to go back to Treasury to request for more funding, because the current budget that we have is not going to be able to make us meet the target. We have a target of electrifying 100% of the households, meaning countrywide, by 2025.
2025, okay.
2025. We have budget shortfalls.
Yeah.
Where we are sitting, when we look at the projections from our side, we realize that we will not be able to meet that commitment with the current budget that is coming through, because of the level of increase we get annually. It's not significant than what we are able to. For example, last year we were not able to meet our target as the department. We hope in this year we can try and push, reprioritize in various areas, and maybe even look at partnership where we can be able to connect using partnerships around communities. So we definitely have a huge task.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll talk nuclear, we'll talk Eskom, we'll talk about the Central Energy Fund, the Strategic Fuel Fund. There's a lot happening under your tenure. So do stay tuned. Remember, at Morning Live SABC, that's where you can get hold of us.